Pim, pim. Pim, 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 pim. Okay, we are done. We're live. I was running late as fuck, and so I am not even going to say in any single place today. Like, this is going to be kind of a surprise stream, you know why? Because I wanted to go live before it was later, and I have the possibility to get anything ready. Well, in part it was my own. I only have no way. Partially, no, completely. I only have myself to blame for that. I had to. I should have tried to let everything be ready for when I got here, but I didn't expect to to take such a beautiful nap. Oh, man, what a great concept that is of taking another very short sleep in the middle of your day. That isn't in the least kind of changing my whole perception of the world, you know. It isn't nothing weird, it's nothing complex, it just is, you know, my brother. But well, at least we are here, at least we are streaming, at least we are back. That is the most beautiful part of this. So, as always, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We got here. And we have the possibility of letting this exist. So, yeah, we are, we are not will say those who try to negate every part of this, but we are here right now, so we are enjoying this, and probably I don't really know. We are seeing so far. What? Oh, hello, hello, hello. Today, just in case, today is a completely rambling day, so we have literally no structure behind this. So I guess, yeah, as always, these days are the best where anybody can ask any question at all. And well, I think I want to start this particular occasion before after saying this. As always, it is beautiful to be here. It is beautiful to be present. It is beautiful to have or the lurkers or the watchers, everyone here. Sorry for forgetting to say it before. Now, for real, starting on something that happened that I wanted to share is I I find it true because we were talking about it with some guys the other day. It is very true that a lot of times we need kind of an input to discuss ideas that we think are useful. And I also find it, in a sense, almost very realistic to see that not only we need an input, but also we value more than I wouldn't know if it is what we should do or what they really are, or in a sense, I do not know if it is that we are overvaluing or we are only giving enough attention to the topics that we are given by others. In a sense, because most than anything else, I kind of expect people, or well, it isn't that I expect, I will be surprised if when you are given the possibility, you will choose something that isn't really of your entertainment, sorry, to be to hear a talk about from somebody who, in a sense, you go to them. I wouldn't say completely expecting anything at all, simply being there, simply wanting to hear. In this case, if it is that you decide to take not only yourself to their place, but also your interest to their special place, so to speak, you might as well be expecting a little bit of an attention or of an intent on speaking about those things that you might as well gather and almost sense carry at the very least a meaning which, or not a meaning, a message which you can enjoy hearing no matter what it is, because at the end of the day, it is, yeah, I guess it is kind of the same as having the possibility of choosing from the people that you already like what even more on a, so to speak, on an even more personalized manner, the kind of things that they are going to talk about. In that sense, going back to the or seeing it from the viewer perspective, I would be surprised if somebody were not to take that route. I mean, personally, in this whole field, it is almost a very present thing and almost a constantly existing, so to speak, thing that everybody kind of allows. Not that allows because it is bad or allows because it is good. They simply allow it, and because it is allowed, we kind of tend to simply let ourselves be swung around based on what, in that sense, others think might be the best. And well, I mean, in that same kind of fashion, it comes with a price. On one hand, people will really enjoy to see that you pay attention to their wishes, on one hand, and even more in this particular manner, when you give them the possibility of being entertained by what they specifically choose, like obviously there are the biggest barriers that Twitch provides in the sense of uh, safe for work content and not safe for work content. Obviously, there is that on one hand, but also on the other, there still exists, so to speak, a whole sense of still within those fields how much I can kind of shape what is it that it's going to transpire in this, how much I can really transform and how much I can really achieve. The enjoyment of that which I know I personally already like, with the added benefit, so to speak, of having this one particular individual who also gives me, I wouldn't say, yeah, saying satisfaction might as well give it a kind of sexual pleasure more than simply entertainment value. So this, well, yeah, let's say like this entertainer who I also enjoy, let's say like that. When you have those two, so to speak, possibilities connected, and when you have even more the chance of seeing what it is that through the unique personalities that they carry with themselves and the, so to speak, the leakages of their opinions, the bleedings that they create due to being them who are enjoying those medias, and all of that playing almost a crucial role in the way in which that particular semi kind of very singular event is going to happen. It is in those moments that we kind of enjoy, or not simply enjoy for the sake of enjoyment. We really find a true entertainment more kind of elevated than others because, as I said before, it comes from the chance of having what we want the most combined with the person who gave us, in a sense, the most entertainment. And that is why I will kind of say, in that hand, it is kind of expected that people will always have the desire to, if they are allowed, to make and to consume the things that they might as well already know. They, going back, obviously, already enjoyed in the past, added the benefit of having you being the one who produced that. In a sense of, the only problem I think is it carries kind of a second layer and a harder one, specifically because you need to accept and you need to see, let's say, that unless you're talking about individuals who do not have so much of a close audience, you can properly play a role in which you can also choose. And not only that, because if the audience itself and what they are catering to has the layer of, so to speak, being a knitted, what is it, night thief, holy fuck I can say it, tight knit community that is a place in which ones are very close with others. If that is also true, you can even more expect, so to speak, pressure from certain people, so to speak, that gives the opinion of, you know what, we should try to do this, have a lot more weight than those who sometimes even you yourself as the one who comes from the most inner desire, but isn't so visually noticeable. Or I might as well want to enjoy what this one is doing, and I might as well like to really see how it is that they can play a role in this particular, so to speak, session or whatever I want to call it. Why? Because you can never negate and you can never remove, so to speak, the side that they have as a whole, in the sense of you might as well need to accept that no matter who it is you're interacting with, it always carries, so to speak, a load, and almost, I wouldn't simply call it a load. It, it too, on the other side, carries the chance, in this case, the inherent chance of being more of what you really expected, or yeah, more than what you really expected, in the sense of giving you even more entertainment. That is why, in, especially as I was saying, in those tight knit communities, it becomes harder for, not a real outsider, but basically somebody who comes for the first time to say, "Yeah, please, can you test this one thing? Can you give me an opinion on this? Can you start talking about these topics?" Because it is kind of already, yeah, it is kind of hard. I mean, how can you solve this problem in particular, in where some people, just because they are new, will have a worse acceptance, or an accept, not themselves, but rather the others will have a hard time accepting whatever they suggest. Because, in a sense, I would say like this: whoever is new will always have to carry, almost the weight of, because you are new, we need beforehand to know how much of a real threat or not you are. Because it is something that happens on every social structure, not just particularly here. That an already established group, when they have the possibility of integrating someone, they, before really assessing if they are part of the group or not, or before completely integrating those individuals into the groups, they start testing, poking, and analyzing how much of a potential danger there are. That's why, in that case, if I would say the solution relies more on the individual, in a sense in which you need to show others that you are not going to provide something that is damaging for the community, or for those who you are trying to influence with your desires, let's say. But at the same time, you can't truly create something like that if the group itself is so close and so to speak, gated, in mind, yeah, mindly speaking, so completely oblivious to the possibility of somebody from the exterior bringing a new opportunity and a new thing that might as well be entertaining, as equally, at the very least, as what they were doing before. But I guess it in this sense it applies to almost every field, right? Because you could almost try to find coincidences in which this happen. Because, for example, the whole, the widest kind of thing I could say is, in the West we tend to not even think about meditation as something that is important, while in the East there are, in almost all cultures, different ways of named meditation. Because here, for example, something that is kind of observed is, when somebody engages in the act of praying, they are already kind of doing a meditation, and they are already exerting a certain type of, so to speak, mindfulness, as long as they are doing it in the ways in which their brain is able to calm down. Because it also happens that sometimes, but I think it is more having to do with individuals. But sometimes when people tries to meditate, if they do not completely understand how the process is, correctly taken, no, correctly made, and how it is correctly, so to speak, censored in a way in which you really gain, the benefits of meditation, you might as well end up only having a panic attack. You might as well only end up having, moments of real anxiousness. Even if it doesn't drive to a panic attack, you will be you will only really feel like if you were once again finding yourself really exhausted because you didn't submerge yourself in the whole sides of the meditation, but in the what I was going for here, aside from that, is in those kind of communities, it is kind of expected and kind of seen or observed that here in the West we have a hard time because through time we ended up having bad examples of what meditation meant and what was the goal of meditation. Because we have people who might as well have had positive intentions but weren't really able to put into the correct words the ways in which anybody could really try to meditate. Not because it it wasn't useful, but rather because, as I said, the ways in which the idea itself was conveyed were the wrong ones. And that is, in a manner, you need to accept that when something doesn't work, it is because something went wrong. Be it the individuals who did it, be it the individuals who try to not accept the message itself. But if I will say like this, if it is a common occurrence over time to see and to kind of comprehend, to take it as if every single time that something didn't work the ways in which we desired in this particular sense, come only from the side of those who we are trying to give something to, it might as well become dangerous in the sense of I think I have it. I also kind of understand it in a better way now because it becomes dangerous not because you really are closing yourself from the possibility of saying and trying to really have a discussion over the ideas with those who are interested in having that. It is rather that you close yourself of the possibility of really addressing once again the problem and solving it efficiently. Because the most important part of this is always trying to solve I don't know, even in a stream. What? Uncle, what? What? This is evening. I mean, this is for me, yeah, an evening. I guess, yeah, for you probably. I don't remember your time zone, Bunkum, but yes, this is this is the evening stream. We are rambling so far. Okay. It is midday. Amazing, amazing. I mean, I think we have like how much 4 hours of difference or something like that. I don't truly remember at this point, but welcome. So far, we came from the. I don't remember the first idea, but we have been right now have been talking about the concept of. Oh yeah, we were talking about the possibility of choice that is given. In a sense, I was kind of talking about it at first, to the so to speak, those who consume content and those who let the spectators choose what they are going to do next, so to speak. We ended up derailing. Oh yeah, no. We aren't topic. There isn't a topic list because I. This is a rambling stream. Rather, what I do is literally I jump from one thing to another as I see convenient. I don't really. I am not really following any real structure at all. I am only trying to convey the ideas that appear in my brain in a manner in which we can all of us follow what is happening there. Not only myself, but yes, there isn't a real list. I'm trying to put it into terms that could reveal how it is that we ended up now. It was how to kind of solve the problem of those who do not accept the messages that we try to carry to them, so to speak. Seeing it from that perspective, we were, and basically, I was kind of stuck on the idea of you need kind of to accept, and it becomes in this particular area kind of troublesome to try to carry an objective truth. I will say because you can't really say that the individual is wrong in the manner in which they end up being the responsible for their own dismissal of their message. But at the same time, it is kind of that what I am trying to convey. Because if the message that you are trying to convey to other is not correctly conveyed, in a manner in which they can really say, okay, it served the purpose that you were trying to give us, or at the very least, I took out something useful from it. You might as well need to analyze what it is that you are saying and how it is that you are saying that. Because if you weren't paying attention and if you were not even more conscious about the, in this case, possibility of, as long as your message is boiled down to such a comprehensible list of parts and to such an extensive and yet mm, digestible collection of ideas, as long as it is that, instead of simply being a convoluted mass of, so to speak, views, parts, and even more sites that are really require ages and ages to be properly deconstructed in something that you can really say, okay, I can start grabbing this or submerging myself from this. And after really understanding this first side, I can indulge even more, or I can indulge is not the correct term. I can take an even deeper dive into this whole side of whatever it is this idea. So I guess it comes, as I was trying to say, from the reality or the subtle reality of when something failed. It wasn't that the failure lie on the society itself. It, it will be kind of strange to see, or even more to say, and to make everyone your enemy. In that case of, mm, I am misunderstood, I am completely outside of this realm, I am completely eliminated because what I am trying to say and what I am trying to go for is not even tried to be taken as something that might have a really useful side or might bring my particular objective, whatever it is. Um, but, as I was trying to say, the correct approach would be, okay, if it failed, and if I saw how it is that it failed, even more in those cases, I should try my best to see and to approach it from the side of, okay, where was it that it failed and how is it that I can start improving this whole collection of ideas, because at the end of the day, almost any message at all has a collection of ideas behind it, I would say, in this particular manner. Because if what you're trying to convey was not properly put together, you cannot expect anybody to really follow you or even less understand what it is that you try to do. So, in that sense, mm, yeah, as I said before, you need to first accept the responsibility that lies in your hand. Or, okay, I'm going to see how I can reconstruct the same thing in a different manner. This very, 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 very similar thing. If I can really think it is possible to make it equally to what I already have, there is something truly similar to the degree to which it almost feels like a carbon copy, but made in a different way, I will say. And I guess the problem of that particular idea comes with the hurdle itself of accepting and the reality that becomes needing to surrender so much into the whole hands and even more into the whole universe that is what you did was wrong mostly because you did it incorrectly. And I guess, yeah, it is kind of in the sense of music. Sometimes you might be almost a genius, but the way in which some particular notes completely throw off the whole harmony that could have existed there is what makes that particular symphony not work. Not that it wasn't or it didn't have the potential. It is only that some things need to be refined to an even higher state to really reach, so to speak, that possibility of being easily acquired by anybody who really is trying to, or not even that. even sometimes the possibility of you yourself being the one who creates the incentive on others and creates the desire on others to approach it, even when they never heard about it before, is what even more creates a strong idea because almost with music, I would say, following that comparison, when you create such a symphony that you do not even need to show others, it is good for them to tell you that it was good, nor to even ask for their opinion on it to hear that what you did was good already. It shows and it proves that, in a sense, what you made in that instance can be shared, so to speak, in a broader landscape due to by itself being capable of inducing in others the interest and even more the desire to the degree to which they can even feel, yes, the not real necessity, rather the how to say it, interest once again. Let's go once again with interest. The interest to really tell you that that particular piece of here music was interesting, even if you never in your whole life try to even ask from others their opinion. Simply because what you put together was so good, others decided to tell you that it was good. Rather, I would guess it is kind of what happens with literature nowadays. A good book doesn't have on it almost anywhere that a question that is specifically made or tries to break the fourth wall for the reader, asking, is this a good book? No, it rather happens that the good book has so much good things inside it that those readers feel the interest of telling and even more the interest of showing others almost in what it was that this particular book had of good inside it, so to speak. Mm, I think I am, if I am not so wrong. But yeah, I mean, que lo más creo we're so far on. We are rambling about, right now we're rambling about how something can be so good that by itself it can kind of propagate. And I remember where this came from. It it comes from I don't remember where, but it is an idea that in a sense the biggest virus that we have are ideas, because when an idea by itself is so powerful, it becomes without any other motivator shared with others, and because in other minds it also finds to be interesting, it even more becomes shared. Why? Because the more it is shared, the more people can experience this quote unquote good thing. And I guess the question that begs to be asked is, in this case, at which point something stops simply being good and becomes rather good because it has a side to it, that because everybody already knows about this and because everybody says that it is good and blah 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 blah. Because all of that, how can I myself, somebody who has never experienced this one thing in particular, not have even tried to see it, not even try to kind of observe what it is. Yes, welcome, welcome, Prometheus. It's Kute Potato. Welcome. So far, we're rambling. So, welcome. Oh, sorry, Masuro Ganso. If anybody has a question, you might as well ask. Mm, literally, no, no real interest in not asking this. Yeah, I mean, in a sense, I will say the yeah, it has another side to it, specifically the things that keep going. Because I mean, a good example would be nowadays. It is completely almost outdated in a sense to have the necessity of watching The Godfather, and even more the interest of observing what the fuck. I didn't got shy. Yeah, probably. I mean, probably. I might not think I have noticed, but that I know myself, I don't think I got shy. Um, but well, continuing. I think sometimes those things who do not need to be continued are those real viruses because the enterprise of money making is something apart from really the goodness itself because cartoons who are still created as with almost any media at all who is still being replicated and created and propagated over time because it has something good to it alter mostly in a sense because there is a money gain, not because the cartoon is doing good enough sometimes. Because yeah, okay, no specific example because I don't want this to get. Oh no, you really don't enjoy this. You really don't enjoy this other media piece. And those, so to speak, series who have been going for seasons and seasons, and nowadays almost the whole fan base who started watching them says they are bad, not in the sense of they have their visions diluted because what they are seeing comes from the side, of this might as well be bad because myself do not know if it is what I wanted or similar to what I started to see before. Basically, that whole nostalgic feel that sometimes we have with things that we cannot enjoy as equally as we did at first, so to speak. Mm, that whole, what is it? That whole, you were, it was better when you were tiny, it was better when it was the first seasons, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, not only the drop in quality, or well, kind of the opposite. Yes, it happens when the drop in quality is noticeable, not when the other side of this, as I was saying, the whole nostalgic side and the whole I wanted it to keep being like it was the first season argument, rather the whole real drop in quality. But in that sense, it happens with those things that there is also a financial motivator for them to keep going. I mean, almost every season nowadays that is produced, at the very least of animation, at least requires millions and millions of dollars to be made. Or well, Western animation, Japanese and in general, Eastern, I think, isn't that pricey, but here we do not observe. Aside from anime, other Eastern real animations, so we don't really have the possibility of knowing so far. But at the very least, the Western media, who is still going, is still there because, in a sense, it also calls the first and original idea of whatever they try to embody. I mean, a typical family who got together to make a series in which they show the quirkiness of a stereotypical, not simply typical, stereotypical family, and who show the lacks and the things that happen with, so to speak, the whole universe to which they were gathering is there and becomes even more efficient at being attention grabbing because it kind of reflects that reality. But if with time it gets diluted, it is not sometimes because I think their, their quality drop. The human nature is not so infinite. You cannot do, let's say, you cannot do, for example, I cannot talk 300 streams in a row about how important it is to meditate, for example, because at one point or another, even if I try my physical best to keep obtaining and keep seeing and keep researching and keep bringing people to know about this, even if I try my best, at one point or another, it will end up being repetitive because no real topic is capable of giving so much. That is why, in a sense, the real renovation and even more innovation of the market is what keeps bringing life to projects. Because, for example, if that weren't, or well, yeah, kind of autistical claim, more like, let me see, in a sense, we could say sometimes that at least for now, the tendencies have proven that at least for now, what works the best is the innovation, because not only on entertainment, but on the types of transport that we take, on the types of, so to speak, tools that we utilize, on every type of thing that intervenes in the daily life, they are constantly innovating to an state and to a higher degree of efficiency, beautiness, whatever it is. Because, for example, even the what is it? Toothbrush, something that could really not seem as that much innovation, has over the years gone through a lot of changes. Nowadays, you don't really need it, but it is better to have what is it? An electric toothbrush than to have a normal one, because it is expected that the functions which an electrical toothbrush will bring to your life and the functions which you can utilize in your daily life and almost you can really extract more uses from the simple tool that you have at your hand are higher than what they were when the first mechanical, simply simple, let's say, wooden toothbrush was created, let's say. So that is why, basically, in those senses, the innovation is the killer of the boringness, but at the same time, where is it that you're going to innovate if you yourself do not even know where the innovation is on either? Because, and I think that uh, this one I will done. I will accept that it is egotistical, but I will anyway say it. Sometimes we lack the self-awareness to the degree to which we can say yes. We need to see how we can make this better. Because if you find a comfort zone in which you can kind of say, yeah, what I am doing is already good enough, and what I am doing is already efficient enough to the degree to which I don't really need to add much more to this. If you think that that is true, you are going to stagnate in whatever piece of anything you are creating. Not only art, not only entertainment, not only a tool. Not, I think nothing is limited to this, because even more, I will speak on the most metaphysical level. Even a circle is nowadays being explored and being trying to replicate in our own reality, because even if we think some things are particularly perfect, the more we delve into that kind of perfection, the more we realize we cannot really bring it into reality, or we didn't even really understood how much of a perfection it had, or where those imperfections that lie through the lies themselves of, you know, at the day of, at the end of the day, almost anything falls apart when you really critically and really in a destructive way took out the pieces that conform that general idea, as we said before. But I guess, I guess, why would anybody at all have an interest on destroying what they already created for the sake of making it even better? Because it comes, okay, it is easy to say, yeah, you need to innovate and you need to see where it is lacking. But the emotional side of the human cannot disregard what they already did, because we tend to attach ourselves with our own creations. In that same sense, I will say, it is kind of as I have talked before, in a sense. If you really are trying to make something useful for others, you need first and foremost to let that particular thing be destroyed by your own self. But if in the process of creating that you think that it already reached perfection, or that the whole love you put into it was already enough and you do not really want to see it destroyed and kind of taken out and remade because it was a long process and it was obviously a hard process and it took years sometimes. If you have that whole side of yourself telling you that no, please do not do it, do not spend your time doing it, do not take apart what you yourself with your own hands created with such a masterpiece and such a beautiful thing that others also already enjoy. If you let that taint what you already have, so to speak, it becomes impossible to progress. But how can we disregard the emotionality that we have in ourselves? And how can we, in a sense, let it die without really suffering? Because it isn't easy to say, or it, it is easy here to say, yeah, we should do it for the sake of progress. But how easy it is really, for example, particular example here, how easy it would be to see for me that if I were to really what analyze myself and destroy everything that we already created here just to make it even better, but on the process lose probably weeks or months trying to really get it to an even higher state and all of that. If those things were to be true, how can I really expect any kind of sense on my side if I am not? It isn't that I am not doing it. If I am not capable of letting behind my emotions, I mean more for I think because, for example, if you were to accept also that what you're doing needs to be revolved, not 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 only comes with that, it also comes with the depressing side of almost all the artists already know what they are making needs to be brought to an even higher state. But with that whole process, it also starts to be born the kind of mm, mental or brain struggle of, so to speak, the imposter syndrome, because you reach a degree to which you think what you are making is so awfully bad and needs to be so infinitesimally greater that you cannot really believe what you're doing is good anymore. So I guess, in a sense, we kind of lack the tools, at least those who are trying to improve what they already have, lack the tools on themselves to really bring it to a new higher state, I would say. But how, how will that be solved? I mean, is it that we are regarding the human as human anymore? Isn't it that, for example, it is easy to say and to go with the easy route of, yeah, this requires a holistic approach. How how do you approach it correctly? How you can really think what you want to do could be improved without feeling what you are already did stops being worth of it, because there is kind of a contradiction on both things. Because if what you already did was good enough, it shouldn't need to be improved. But if it needs to be improved, it might as well not have been good enough. And not only you, those who are around you and those who come after you and those who came before you might as well also be wrong, because nobody really tried to improve this because they decided that, yeah, this was good enough. But at the same time, how is it that you can destroy something so easily? I would say because you need to, yeah, I guess the easiest way is to not have an attachment to the things, but how the fuck do you let go of something that really isn't attached to you? I mean, how? It is incredibly easy to say it here, but at the same time, how it is possible for anyone to let go of feelings when those feelings are transitory in themselves? I guess. But anyways, I think that was deep enough so far. I still need to get out. So we did something. We targeted it. We engaged in a little bit of analysis so far. But certainly, I I have to go. I yeah. I have 5 minutes to get prepared. Yes, let me resume the question by. Well, at the very least, we progress in more in that sense. So it was, as always, a pleasure to be here. I think, mm, yeah, in that sense, at the very least, I brought a light into a question that really might need an answer, or at the very least, I find it to need an answer, a proper answer, because at least so far, what I have here haven't really given me enough of that satisfaction to say, yeah, I can keep doing it and keep progressing on that even more because I know already what I did didn't brought me any satisfaction at all. I will say, but yeah, I guess it is kind of a crazy world, It has a lot of sides. I will kind of say, lag, lag. Let me check. Holy fuck! What the fuck? Um, are we back? No, no. What the fuck? Holy fuck, my bro. Holy banana. Holy loco. No, stop. Stop with the racism. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I will have to write somebody and leave it right now because my internet is dying. What the fuck? I don't know what to say. I guess that's it. This time for real. No, Tichicho-chan. Tichicho-chan. Can I get some crying face emoji? Can I get I want. You know what? Let me see somebody. Let me see here. The omnologist. Well, um, there it is. There it is. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're so back. We're so back. Welcome. Um, we're leaving. Before it lags once again because I don't know what the fuck happened there. We're so back, but we're leaving right now. So that we do not have to worry anymore about this. No, it is lagging. There it is. Let me write it in chat. Give me a second.